when you're in situations and you should be afraid, like the normal person would be like, ooh, I should be cautious. I don't have that.
You gotta go.
I'll be like, no, let's go full speed ahead. We can do this, and it's gonna come. Like I get energized, and I'm like, no, be cautious.
That's the calm before the storm. Now, if you run through that door, like we can just knock that door down. Be prepared for that ass whooping on the other side of that door. Don't complain and say I want to quit once you get over there.
Listen, Hey, you guys, welcome back to another episode of the I Am Worthy podcast. I am Brittainy Noel, your host. You guys know me as a therapist, a speaker, an entrepreneur, a coach, a little bit of a whole bunch of things. But on our podcast, I am simply your friend in the journey as we are all learning how to grow into the higher versions of ourselves. Welcome back, you guys. Y'all know that we started our Journey to Transparency series. And so we are going to keep that same theme throughout the next couple of weeks. I am so excited about the guests that I have here with me today. You guys, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Warren Broadnax. How are you?
Absolutely amazing. Thank you for having me.
Listen, okay, so first of all, if you guys watched season 1 of I Am Worthy, then you saw Warren Broadnax on Zoom.
Yes.
We did a Zoom interview that, like, right when the pandemic started, and it took forever to get him on that Zoom call. So this time it only took like half the time to get him in person because my friend here is very busy. So I appreciate your time and dropping by the studio. You guys, I know, well, I'm in Houston. So if you guys, well, you're well known everywhere now.
Houston mostly, but you're working on a global impact, hopefully.
CEO of She's Happy Hair. Okay. Introduce the people, tell them who you are.
Warren Broadnax, I am the CEO and co-founder of She's Happy Hair. I am a serial entrepreneur. I'm the co-founder of Happy Me Tea, executive director of the She's Happy Foundation, and just probably one of the most hustling people you'll ever see in your life. I'm trying and striving to be the biggest hustler out there and put out as much positive energy into the world as well. I'm happy and very authentic. That's my main thing. Authenticity, honesty, and showing people what it really is like to be an entrepreneur and embrace the failures.
Listen, y'all. So Warren and I was sitting here having a whole conversation, and we were like, we might as well turn on the cameras because it was getting real very quickly. Warren is someone that I reach out to when I have crisis. I try to be proactive, right? I try to be proactive sometimes, but most times it's crisis when I'm like, hey, look, so the sky is falling and I need your perspective. Because you were gracious enough to actually give me real feedback and be there to support me in the best way that you can when I'm going through those moments. Entrepreneurship is relatively new for me because I started in 2019, but I just came a full-time entrepreneur in 2021.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Getting all them stripes. You're getting all them stripes.
Listen, okay. So basically, what I've noticed about your platform lately is that your presence on Instagram, you are showing up, I can't even say more transparent, but you are been talking about more than just entrepreneurship lately. And that sparked my interest because I need to hear from people
right,
who understand what it's like to have drive, ambition, see themselves constantly moving forward, constantly advancing, but then still dealing with the struggle of today. Okay?
Right. Yeah, I feel you. I'm there.
For our transparency series, I wanted to talk to you about surviving the struggle because 2022 was hard for a lot of people, myself included. And, you know, I have high hopes for 2023.
Be optimistic.
I want to do 2023 differently than I did in 2022. I think 2022 was like getting in a boxing ring and you did a little bit of prep work and you were like, it ain't gonna be that bad. And then you got punched out. That's what 2022 was for me. I was like, oh, it can't be this bad. And then I got knocked out multiple times. So in 2023, I'm walking in more prepared with a better understanding of the key phrase and slogan you always say, nobody ever said it was going to be easy.
Facts. Facts.
Knowing that this struggle is going to test me in a lot of different ways, and I want to respond to it differently. I do want my response to be different. I think one of the things we talked about before we started recording was that I can be inflexible.
Right.
Which things that don't bend break. I do know that. So my goal is not to break in 2023. So I want to know from you, how did you get to a point to where you were able to survive the seasons that you felt were going to break you, and you had to learn how to become flexible and bend at ease so that you can flow with life instead of fighting it?
I think it was my preparation as a military veteran and as a Houston firefighter, right? Like in the military, through a lot of trainings, when you go through it, they'll put you in scenarios to where it look like you won't make it out. But it's really a mind game. Like, as long as you don't quit, long as you don't completely like lose your nerve and you stay and ride the course and just go through whatever you need to go through, you'll figure it out.
Right.
And going through a few of those scenarios and continuing to do that, and then going on to the fire department where, I mean, it's a fire. Like, we're literally walking fire. You can't see anything. It's hot. You know, somebody else's home. You're tripping over things. You could die. Again, as long as you stick to your training, keep your head cool, you'll figure it out. So when it comes to entrepreneurship, it's those same things, right? I think, like you said, when you went to 2022, you said, well, I went to a boxing match and I didn't think it was going to be that bad. Think it's going to be horrible, right? I think you have to go in thinking like, I don't care how bad it is.
Yeah.
If they don't knock my head off my shoulders, I'm in a fight. And that's all I can ask for, right? And it's like, yeah, you want to do it different, and you optimistic about 2023, but you got to be like, one of my main sayings in entrepreneurship I learned from Sean Taylor is like, you don't know what you don't know. So you don't know what this next level is going to bring to you, right? We just talked about how everything is working and it's coming together. So when you start achieving those goals, you don't know what you don't know. I look at entrepreneurship like, you said a boxing match. I look at it kind of like if you're walking through a field with like a corn stalk or, I don't know, sugar cane, right? And you have a machete and you're just chopping. You don't know what's coming after you chop that. Whatever you got is you and your machete. Don't drop the machete and keep chopping. And that's entrepreneurship. That's my mindset. I don't know if I'm going to be successful. I don't know if I'm going to make 100 million, 5 million, 20 million. I know I ain't going to quit.
Right.
I know that I don't know how hard the times going to be, but I know I'm going to be harder than the times. And that's my perspective. And with me saying I don't know what I don't know, I also know that if I don't know what I don't know, that means I'm going to fail, I'm going to lose, it's going to hurt, it's going to suck. Like, if you're ignorant to something, you're going to experience some pain. You have to understand that while I'm experiencing this pain, I'm willing to go through the pain, I'm willing to figure it out, and I'm going to share this pain, that hopefully that I'm not the only one to have to go through it. That's why I try to share my failures so much with people, because a lot of times they just look from the outside looking in. You've been in entrepreneurship 10 years. You started with 900. You made 100 million. Those numbers sound good, but I'm losing every day. You seen my face when I walked in here today. I was stressed from those phone calls. But it's like the perspective of being like, I don't care how hard the times is. I just got to be harder than the times. Point blank, people.
What do you think was one of the failures that you had to face in entrepreneurship that you feel took the most out of you?
What took the most out of me? So many of them. So many of them. Probably not took the most out of me, but that let me know, like, I'm at a level I kind of can't understand, and it's above me now. Like that boy said,
it's
right?
Above me.
It's above me now. It's when and She's Happy Hair in like 2014, I was still a firefighter. So I was asleep in the middle of the night, and ADT went off. We got burglarized. So same time we got burglarized, ADTs let me know I'm flying from my house to the store. One of my firefighting buddies called me like, hey, man, your store is over here getting burglarized. I see the cops out there. I'm like, yeah, I'm on the way. Well, when I get there, I'm in there with the cops. We're assessing the damages. And, I mean, they robbed us. They took the safe out the floor, which is crazy. That dude was so strong. But they took the safe out the floor, and I'm there with the cops assessing the damage. Like, man, they really took like a lot of our inventory. And while I'm there, ADT is calling me again. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's see what's going on. I'm missing the first few because I'm already here, but they're calling so much. I'm like, I got to answer this. So I'm telling the cop, like, excuse me. I'm like, hey, Warren speaking. They were like, hey, man, you know, your store's getting burglarized. I was like, yeah, I know. I'm here. They were like, what address are you at? And I give them the address. They was like, no, your other store is getting burglarized. So at that point, it was like, man, I don't control anything. The only thing I control is how I respond to this, right? You're talking about a $500,000 loss in a night. This is not money I have in the bank. This is invested in the business. It's above me. So to be able to try to bounce back from that and even to come back and fathom, I think it took months for me to really fathom what really happened, because the next day we were open at both stores. We were sweeping up glass, stayed up all night, and was accepting customers. Like, and it's just how you react to these situations. You can't control them. You can't make it up.
Yeah, listen, and I think I'm grateful for situations like that.
Right.
Because, I mean, we were having a whole event here. In the middle of the event, someone approached me and was like, the water's not working. The water pressure's off. And I was like, well, let me go check the water. I went to go check it, went around the building, checked the water pipe. The water was shut off. And I'm looking, the entire pipe had been stolen in the middle of the event. So we didn't have water for the rest of the event. Like that day, I asked my security guard for his gun, and I told him I was shooting somebody. I don't know who. I don't know where they went. Because, like, that was still, like, close to right when we opened, so I'm still recovering from renovations. Like, we had already suffered one vandalism. Like, it's like, you're right. It's things that you cannot control. In 2022, it was so much that I could not control, but I'm trying my hardest to, like, keep things afloat, keep things in order. And it's like constantly swimming upstream.
Yeah.
You get tired.
You got to find that time for you. That's what you chose when you chose entrepreneurship. You don't control
anything. I
anything.
chose something else.
No, yeah, you're wrong. Well, I think it's reminding you.
I thought I chose something else.
It's reminding you what you chose. Like, oh, you thought this was this? No, this is what you get behind this door. And that's the journey throughout the whole process. But then you have to learn to clap for yourself the same way you kind of let these failures kill you, right? You said you just got into entrepreneurship 2019. Well, if I look from that perspective, Black, female, woman, we talked about your staff earlier. We talked about all the people you got going on. Look at the statistics of Black, female entrepreneurs. First of all, Black entrepreneurs, 97% are sole proprietors. That's only 2-year people, period. 97%. You're in the top 3% already. Boom. Yeah, it's lonely at the top. This is trouble up there.
It's a struggle
it's
at
a struggle
the
up there.
top. And what's so funny, I know the last time we talked, one of the things you said, you're like, Brittany, you got to talk to people who are doing what you're doing, on your level. And you had never been here before. So when I was like, I can't just reach out to a regular event space owner because nothing is regular about this building. Like, and, I had someone was like, well, why did you go so big? And I tried to, it wasn't even that I purposely set out to say, I'm going to do it this way. But I had a vision, right? I had a vision of what I wanted, and happened. Like when I walked into this building, I was like, I can do everything I wanted to do here. So it felt as if the building it wasn't that I said I want 13,000 square feet. It wasn't that. I promise people. I was like, It wasn't that. It was I had the vision, and then I found the building that would allow me to do it all at the same time. What I did not anticipate was doing it all at the same time meant that I was taking away my ability to grow incrementally.
It's always gonna be a little sacrifice.
Child,
it's always gonna be a little. But your vision, you're living it, and that's sometimes when we forget as entrepreneurs when we start to get beat up. It's like, shit, I'm living my vision. Okay, yeah, I wanted this big building and I wanted all that. Guess what come with all of that? Problems. You thought it was just going to be millions of dollars and people was going to run in here and everything was going to be great? No. All those problems are coming along with it. And one of my little favorite sayings as of recently, and that's one thing that we really have to practice as entrepreneurs. When you get everything you want, you got to learn to discipline your disappointment. Right? The failures go come. Learn from it, figure it out, keep going. Because another one coming so fast, you can't sit on that one too long because another one go come back and then you go get depressed and like, oh my God, I'm losing. No, you ain't. You're operating 13,000 square foot and everything you wanted is here. But all of that comes with problems, especially with a learning curve. You only been doing this 2 years and you don't know what you don't know. It's a process. It's a marathon, not a sprint, right? That's one thing that always helped me out too. Listening to Nipsey, it was like, I had an outlook on entrepreneurship like, bro, it's a marathon. And I just treat entrepreneurship like a marathon. I don't treat it like a sprint. I'm not racing nobody. I'm not running balls to the wall. I'm pacing myself. I'm taking a step, and I just feel in a marathon, as long as you keep stepping and you don't stop, you'll finish a marathon. And entrepreneurship is no different.
One of the things people say is that if you're doing something, right, and you experience a whole bunch of, like, friction, a whole bunch of setbacks, that it's possible that that thing is not for you.
Not if it, maybe so in some scenarios, but not if it's what you asked for. It's what you wanted. You just said this is what you wanted. You got everything you wanted, so this is what you asked for. Now the problems are going to, if you lay in your bed long enough and don't do nothing and be an ain't shit person, right? Right? Somebody termed this term today called ain't shit person. So if you lay in your bed long enough and become an ain't shit person, problems gonna come. You gonna start getting boils. Your blood ain't gonna be circulating. You can't avoid the obstacles.
Yeah.
Not everybody gets everything they want or gets a chance to live out their dream. And that's sometimes you got to remind yourself that as entrepreneurs, like, man, I'm really living a dream. I say it just to say it sometimes, but then I do remind it like, damn, I really am kind of living a dream, though. Like, I really am. Even with the headaches and everything else, because my dream was to be in a situation where I control my destiny, where everything is on me.
Everything is on me.
There you go. There you go. There you go, boss.
Everything.
There you go, boss. There you go.
Yeah, and I think there are like certain times where I do stop and just bring myself out of it enough to where I can look at what I've done. And I think even the times where I'm like seriously contemplating like giving up everything and walking away from everything, like it blows my mind because I'm like, Brittany, you built it. It's here.
Yeah.
You can't just walk, like, I try to wrap my head around walking away from something I built from ground up.
Throw that out your head. Throw that quitting shit out your head. Throw that walking away shit out your head. It's only going to poison you. And even though you may not be able to get around other entrepreneurs that may have 13,000 square foot space, you got to get around other entrepreneurs.
Yes.
I maybe can't get around other entrepreneurs that started where I came from and that's where I'm at. But when I get in entrepreneur programs and I'm around other entrepreneurs, everybody feel like quitting. And we may all bring our problems into that meeting or that session. And then once we get there, it's like, oh, you struggling? Oh, I'm struggling then. My problems don't seem as bad as yours. And, oh, you've been feeling like quitting for 30 years. And I thought you was a super success. So it's like, oh, I can do it. You have to get around that community because when those failures start to compound on you, you start to isolate yourself. Like you said, I go to the gym, I don't want to be around nobody. I go somewhere else, I don't want to be around nobody. You have to get around other entrepreneurs. Your family don't understand it. They think you winning. They see this big 13,000 square feet and think you making 13,000 a minute, right? You know what I'm saying? They don't know your pipe missing around the joint during
or how much it costs to replace it.
Exactly. But you have to get around other entrepreneurs who understand that, and then y'all feed off each other because we all losing. This is the trek that we chose when we chose in this path of entrepreneurship, and it's not for everybody.
It is not for everybody at all. When I even give people a glimpse of what's all I've been going through, they're like, ain't no way. Like, ain't no way. Like, how are you still even operating right now?
Straight up.
So, yeah. And I think it's, when I look at it from that perspective, I'm like, I know without a doubt, even when I feel like I've made too many mistakes, I've messed up, I'm not going to get it right, I can't correct it. It's like, I know without a doubt I was made to do not even just entrepreneurship, but I just do hard things.
Grit.
I do hard things. So it's like, this is why when I walked in the boxing ring, I was like, it ain't going to be that bad. I've handled hard stuff before. And it was like, oh no, this is a new level of hard that you have never in your life experienced.
But then you still here. You talking
Still
about
here.
it. You smiling about it.
We are
So it really
smiling.
wasn't that bad. There you go. And it wasn't that bad. And you learned all those different things, all those mistakes that you're not going to repeat. So it wasn't that bad, right? It's just like, it's going to be tough. I'm going to get beat up a little bit, but I'll live. I'll figure it out. And that's it. And I'll go over the next year and I'll figure it out. The only entrepreneur who fails is the one who gives up. And then you know what you got to do? You got to live with that regret of walking away from the hard thing.
No, I don't think I would survive that.
There you go.
Like when I think about walking away from anything, like I'm like, that's not what I do. Like I have never in my life done that. Like, so I'm like, I don't think while you may be uncomfortable here, walking away, you're going to be just as uncomfortable, like just as frustrated. When I left, I had a government job and I was at that job. I got my degree. Within my first year of being out of school, I was hired and we went to our first like corporate meeting, like everybody in the auditorium. And I was just excited because I'm like, I got my first job and I'm going to be like, my plan was to work at this hospital, graduate, climb the corporate ladder. I was going to retire from here.
Right.
That was it. I went into that auditorium and everybody in that auditorium looked dead. Like hated their lives. Like just miserable. And I went to my mentor at the time and I was like, I need you to tell me how not to be like that. Like, what is happening?
How do I avoid that? Everybody now. How do I avoid all of them?
How do I not? And her literal words was, she was like, be here long enough to get what you need, get your training, get your credentialing, get what you need, and then leave. Like, that's literally what she told me. She was like, staying here will make you complacent. And before I left entrepreneurship, they were offering me promotion after promotion. And I was like, no, because if I take it, it's a trap. if I take it, you're paying me more money to stay. And that's more money I'd have to make in order to have my, at the time, freedom.
Right.
Because I thought it was freedom. I thought I was getting freedom.
Now you're free. You're free to fail. You're free to figure it out. You know, all of that freedom. Think about what it looks like 5 years from now. It's only year 2. I just got to think about 5 years from now. And I was just sharing this with somebody else. It was like, when I was killing in my first 5 years in entrepreneurship, I felt just like you. I still feel like that, to be completely honest, but I just trying to trick myself into enjoying it a little bit more. I was just frustrated. I was disgusted. I was defeated. I was depressed. I was all of these things. And like year 5, year 6, I mean, we were killing it. I mean, by anybody's standards, we were killing it. Financially, you know what I'm saying, and sales-wise and revenue-wise, but like I was beat up. I was getting my bumps and bruises, and I was flying back from somewhere, and I was looking on my phone, and I was looking at the photos, like through that process of that time on a plane. As I'm looking, I was like, man, those were the best times of my life. I'm never going to get a chance to be in a situation where I got to figure it out, and I got to overcome adversity, and I got to, you know what I'm saying? But it was like I wasn't discipline my disappointment at that time, so I was letting it defeat me. While I still was defeating it, it was just my perspective. So now I look at it different. You know what I'm saying? I look at it like I got to enjoy the journey. I got to figure it out a little bit more. And I tell that to new entrepreneurs, you ain't going to never get a chance to have your second year. Your first year, the 13,000 square foot, but think about 10 years from now, you're going to be like, girl, I remember I thought that little 13,000 square feet was going to kill me. Look at me now. You have to enjoy that process because the failures are going to be consistent. You get 35,000 square feet, it's still going to be little failures, you know?
You just throwing out these
Yeah. Wait. If you starting so big, I mean, am I going to go down? You starting so big.
No, that's the thing. It's like you can't go back. Like, and what I try to help people see, like even in the midst of everything that I'm going through and I'm feeling, like I remind myself, it's like the hardships are revealing to you parts of you that you didn't know were there.
Exactly.
Like my ability, like we have been through some stuff. And I say we because on event days, my team is here.
Okay.
And so we have had things happen.
Builds character.
Builds character, builds tenacity. I mean, it highlights, of course, my leadership skills. And the fact that I even was able to build a dedicated team that is ridiculously loyal to the exception. Like they want to see the exception win. So we all go above and beyond to make sure that whatever needs to be done is done. Like I tell people, like as our team, we have labels, but we don't.
Right.
Like if the floor needs to be mopped, then it needs to be mopped. It don't matter if you're the security guard, if you're the parking attendant. We all hands on, all of us. And even that in itself, I remember I was praying. I was like, God, I need people. I need people. I need a team, because I was here every weekend. And sure enough, two very dedicated employees literally came and knocked on my door and was like, I'm looking for a job. Can I come work for you? Yes.
Wow.
Come on in.
Wow.
Come on in. Like, and every weekend, like clockwork, anything I need, like, and that gave me breathing room.
Right.
Like, that was my first, like, okay, I can breathe a little bit. Like, I don't have to be here at the crack of dawn. I was here from 7 a.m. to 1 o'clock in the morning, almost Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I was like, God, I cannot do this. I cannot. And then Monday, you answer phone calls, you respond to like, so it was never stopping.
Everybody. That adversity introduces you to yourself. It has made this evolved woman. This is before me, right? That adversity, it introduces you to yourself. It makes everybody around you want to follow you. It makes your content so much greater because you live in it. A lot of people on IG faking it. They turning these cameras on and just giving you whatever they think it is. It ain't real. You're coming from a real place because you've experienced those L's. You've overcame those obstacles. Mm-hmm. Everybody can't say that.
At all.
Everybody can't even overcome those things, right? To even be able to sit in a situation and be like, hey, this is what I overcome. This is what I went through. Some people want that. And honestly, if you probably still was at that job and you heard somebody going through your life, you would probably be like, man, I want to be in her position. I'm over here dying. Here you are living a dream. You're welcome. I'm just reminding you again that you're living a dream. That's it. Just reminding you that you're living your dream. Everything you wanted, just reminding you that perspective.
So you say adversity introduces us to ourselves. What is one piece of Warren that you feel you gained out of going through your adversities?
Man, what did I gain out of going through adversity? Just more of me. I always feel like I'm built for whatever. Mm-hmm. It's reassuring to find that out sometimes when you go through some things that I got to do it. I got whatever L I get, I can take it. You really don't never want to find out. Like, can you really take it? I don't want to find out. But it is reassuring and it builds confidence when you go to the next one. You know what I'm saying? When that next pipe gets stolen, you ain't gonna be like, give me your pistol. You gonna be like, call such and such. Hey, I got this. You go get the ice, right? It's just preparing you for that next thing. Same way like you said for the fight. Like, man, I was going to get in the ring. A real champion, before they get in the ring, they done did all the pain. They did all the road work. They done did all the running. They done got beat up in sparring. They done probably lost weight. They did everything. So when they get in there, they're prepared for it. So all of my L's have prepared me for who I am and the next challenges that's coming up against. And also, it prepares me to be able to be transparent and tell people they can do it too. Because a lot of people just think they could do it. And some of them right, some of them wrong. I know I can. You know you can. Very few people can have that true confidence.
Yeah. And I do agree with you, because it's if I didn't have the adversities, I wouldn't know without a shadow of a doubt. If I want to continue, I have what it takes.
Right.
Like, it's not, I'm not failing because I'm not capable.
Right.
It's there. It's the willingness.
It's the willing, but you gotta do the time. Like, nothing. Like, you're degreed up. I'm pretty sure you were struggling with homework or your schedule or something when you was going through school. You still have to go. You wasn't.
No, that's the problem. See, look, Warren.
Okay. Tell me about it. All right.
So while I'm a natural scholar, so going through school was not hard. Gotcha. Doing school was not hard. But my tribe knows I have a book. I was going through school while going through a heartbreak. So I moved to Houston. Relationship broke down. I moved out. It was a lot. Right. So that was hard. Being here by myself, not knowing anybody. But that was also the time where because I was in graduate school. So during that time, I was learning myself. What makes me great as a clinician was that season in my life. So learning things is easy. Living life is where it's like, okay. And I tell my tribe before, I know that I feel like I go through certain things because I am such a good teacher and communicator. I have to come back and communicate these things to people in a way that they understand it. So it's like, sometimes it's like, it's really like, like you have to go, you are the nominate, you are the one God said, okay, you're the gladiator.
Sacrificial lamb. There you go, right there.
So that's exactly what it feels like. The sacrificial lamb. Brittany's going to go through it because And I can trust her that she's going to get through it and then come back and pull somebody else through.
There you go. There you go. Boom. I'm just saying, boom, there it is. You're still learning things. You're just taking these L's. They hurt a little bit more, but you're learning. You're getting this knowledge, and you're giving it to other people. And think about how many people you are empowering. Your tribe, your clients, right? And yourself. It's self-assured at the end of the day. And like all of the work you did, those 7 a.m. to 1 in the morning, you can say, if anything goes down, I still can do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to, but I know I can if I need to.
If I have to.
There you go.
Yeah, you're right. And that's the self-trust of it all. Like being able to trust yourself to know I got me. Like if whatever happens, I know I got me. I'm gonna make the hard decisions. I'm gonna do the hard work. Whatever it takes, I've proven.
Right.
I'm gonna do it.
And again, you have to go through that adversity. Like again, we'll just keep using the boxing ring example. But again, most people, if you haven't been in a fist fight, they fear getting punched in the face. They think they'll die. Somebody punch me in my face, I'll die. A fighter is used to getting punched in the face, right? An entrepreneur is used to taking L's. It's used to taking L's. Used to knowing, I don't care what's going on. I got 5 cents in my bank account, I still can make it shake. Because I've had 5 cents in my bank account, and I've made it shake, right? Yeah. So that reassurance right there is showing you who you really are. It's building who you really are, who you're meant to be. Yeah. You got to go through that process, and it sucks. It is not easy, and that's why I say nobody said it would be easy. These are the things I remind myself when I'm trying. That's one of my coping mechanisms to discipline my disappointment when it's just getting bad. It's like, bro, nobody said it would be easy. And the second end of that is like, but it's possible.
But it's possible. I like the but it's possible.
Yeah, I keep that to myself sometimes. My bad. I should probably say that a little
Please,
more.
say that
but
a lot. I like
possible.
the but it's possible. It is possible. Because I think the possibility of it is, for me, I just want to know, like, one, it's all going to pay off, right? And so it's small wins, like having certain people book here, where I'm like, okay, you doing what you're supposed to do.
Good progress, right?
To know that the 24-hour days, like it's all gonna come together. Like it's all gonna, at least one day I'm gonna be able to walk in and it's all automated. Yes, let's speak that into existence.
Yeah, it's gonna get there.
It's all automated, right?
But how long does that take? Put that in perspective. And then you see how long you have to endure or learn or whatever words you want to use. How long does that take? This is year 2, right? How long does that take for it all to be automated?
How long did it take you?
It ain't automated.
And y'all may not know. So from 1 store to 7.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
At what point did you get to a point where you were like, I can keep duplicating this? Because in order to go from 1 to 7, you have a system.
Somewhat. Don't make me seem a little bit more sophisticated than I am. I definitely can't duplicate it right now because we still ironing out the kinks, but I was fearless. You know, I was just popping up new locations, like popping them up, trying, figuring it out, being an entrepreneur, not having it all figured out, just going anyway.
You know, and that's a part of me that I have learned in this process. It's like I have this thing where when you're in situations and you should be afraid, like the normal person would be like, ooh, I should be cautious. I don't have that.
You gotta go.
I'll be like, no, let's go full speed ahead. We can do this, and it's gonna come. Like I get energized, and I'm like, no, be cautious.
That's the calm before the storm. Now, if you run through that door, like we can just knock that door down. Be prepared for that ass whooping on the other side of that door. Don't complain and say I want to quit once you get over there.
Listen, I watch a lot of Kev on Stage's content, and he talks about being like a hot air balloon where he just goes up. Like he's like, whatever it takes, we can do it. And his wife is like, no. Like she pulls him back.
Right.
There's nobody pulls me back down. So I just go. Like I just go. And it works well because I can do things like this.
Right.
But the burnout is real. The burnout is real.
Learn what type of breaks are you giving yourself though? I think we all got to figure out some type of quick releases that we take ourselves. And you saying the burnout is real. I think we just talked about. You're still in control. Yeah. So if you see the burnout coming, take a break.
Yeah.
it's hard to remind yourself like, oh, I'm burnt out. I still got to do this. Like, I still got to do this. I still got to do this. You know what you still got to tell yourself? I got to chill for a weekend. I got to take this Wednesday, Thursday off and realize like this shit is not going to burn down if I sit down for a day or two. And then once you actually do it, you know, as an entrepreneur, you feel bad for taking me time, but you need it.
Yeah. Because I'm like, okay, if you don't do it, who else is going to do it?
Yeah. No, if you got a team, you got to delegate a little bit. Trust people to mess up a little bit. Trust people to be wrong.
Talk about that.
Yeah, you got to trust people. You got to trust people to mess up a little bit.
I just had this conversation with someone where I was like, and that's me because I move so quickly that I do a lot of things under pressure. I do a lot of things under the gun. And they don't come out looking horrible, you know? So I sometimes put that same expectation on other people.
Ooh, rookie mistake. I was there. Rookie mistake. Facts. I had to learn that. That's one thing I definitely had to learn.
Like, it's not that hard. And I'm like, well, actually, Brittainy.
Yeah, that's just what you do. Everybody doesn't have that same skill set. That's definitely something I had to learn year 1, year 2, year 3, and I ran people off. And I rub people the wrong way because I expected me out of them. I'm the same way. I'm good under pressure. I can make it shake. I can figure it out. And I'm like, I ain't have a whole bunch of skill. I can figure it out. Everybody should have to be able to help. And I held them to that standard, and it wasn't fair. You're different. Everybody's different. You got to learn. And you know what really helped me there, at least communicate and recognize that when I started really going on my leadership journey and really started reading my leadership books. And it was like, oh, okay, I am a little different, and I have to learn how to figure out what they're good at and also communicate that well because I communicate different. I communicate direct, raw, rough. Everybody doesn't appreciate that all the time, especially when I'm expecting them to be me.
Right.
It's alienating. So those are things I learned year 1 through 4 that, you know, it probably cost me a good person or 3, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't expect that out of people.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a journey. It's a journey. I think, you know, we're not giving up today.
No, we're not at all. Not at all. The art of never giving up. That's what we're doing. We're doing the art of never giving up. We're just not going to give up. We're going to figure it out.
What is the end goal for you? What does, I talked to someone recently and they said, which I know, I've known that for a while, being a high achiever, that you achieve one thing. Like you said, if everything was going good, I would just say, I want another building.
Facts.
I'm not going to say I haven't had that thought already.
There you go. All right. There you go. I know you have. I know where we're at. I did the tour. I know.
So, and it's like, and this is what I literally like try to do my own mindset work, because I got to points where I was like resenting that part of me. And I was like, Brittainy, you got to stop. Like, this is like, it's too much. Like, you have to stop. Right? But that's the visionary part of me. That's the part of me that can look at an empty building and see what it can be. That's the part of me that I do for my clients when I see who they are today, but I know also who you can be. So it's like, I can't resent that part of me that makes me gifted, right? Because this is a tough season, right? So it's like, I can't be upset with myself for what I do well. It's learning how to tame it, how to know how to put timing to it, right? It would be ridiculous to go get another building right now.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
It would be.
We're not going to do that. That's what we're not going to do. We're not going to do that right now. We're not going to do that right now.
No.
All right. Yeah, we ain't going to quit, and we also not going to get another building. We're not going to do that. Okay. We're setting a little boundaries here.
No, we're not going to do that. Listen, we're not doing that. But it's like, I'm trying not to let the journey harden me, right? Or take away the joy that I do get. Like, when we have really good events and the people are loving and they're nice, like, you know, my staff are great at customer service. Like, they enjoy working events. So when we have people who appreciate, Warren, you've seen my building.
Yeah,
I had people walk through here and tell me it was run down. Get out my building.
Yeah, it's a thing for you.
Like it was blowing my mind. Like, I'm just like, okay. So it's like, I can't be hardened or angry. Right? Because of what I have to go through to be qualified for what I have.
There you go.
So it's like, you endure, you press forward, what I'm working on now is one, releasing control.
That's big. You have to.
And it's not control of the process, it's control of the outcome. Because my greatest fear, this is our transparent episode.
There we go. We're living real.
I didn't even know we were going to talk about this today. My greatest fear, and this is what I learned when we were building out. I always say every level of your life is going to push you, like it uncovers certain things that you didn't even know were there. So as we're building out, things are going well. It was some point in the process that, I don't know if it was the devil attacking me. I don't know what it was, but the thought was like, you're going to fail just like your mother. And what happened, my tribe knows my story between me and my mom, but she opened up a clothing store and it was just poorly planned, there are no entrepreneurs in my family, right? So she had this idea to do a clothing store. It wasn't, as a kid, I was like, this is probably not doing right. This is probably not what we're supposed to be doing like this. But she was aspiring to do and be something different. But I remember during the same time, like our lights were cut off, our water was off. So we had to go to the store and we slept on the floor of that store. And there was that day that I had that thought of you being just like I literally curled up in a fetal position because my body literally remembered being that little girl laying on the floor. And that was the first time that the idea of failure really set in. Like, you're not invincible. You can fail just like your mother. And that put me in bed. That put me in bed, Warren.
Well,
I went to sleep.
The most important conversations, right, are the ones you're going to have with yourself. You can't speak that into your existence. You going to win. It's going to be hard as hell, but you going to win. You got to know it. Whatever it's going to go through, you say, well, I can't release control because I got to want to control the outcomes. The outcome is winning, whatever that looks like. You don't know, and that's the flexibility that you have to adapt in entrepreneurship, because who knows how this pivots 5 years from now? Who knows how you evolve and learn a different move from it and say, so you can't say, well, I'm stuck on golden on, we're just going to be the top studio in Houston and this and that. I'm going to win. I'm going to go through this journey. 2 years from now, I may find a different pivot that's perfect for me. Even though that isn't exactly what I seen 3 years from now, I still win. You got to be committed to the journey.
The goal is winning.
That's it.
Not winning my way.
Not winning your way. Because nothing is ever going to, you're going to keep setting yourself up for failure expecting a specific outcome in entrepreneurship. I don't. Only thing I'm guaranteed is my effort. And then whatever comes out of that, I'll learn it, I'll assess it, I'll take that failure, and I'll put more effort behind it, right?
That's the only thing I control is my effort.
Control what you control. That's it. One of my favorite little quotes I wrote out. You can only control what you can control. You're going to run yourself crazy trying to control things that you can't control because you literally can't control them. What can I control today? I can get up, I can try, I can leave my staff today. You know what? I can let them know, hey, this is what we're doing, and I can go sit down and have me a lunch and just relax and not answer this phone for 45 minutes. And guess what? When I get there, that building going to be there. It's not going to be burnt down. Nothing's going to be broken. And you know what? I can take that and turn it into a day every now and then. I can take that and turn it into 2 days every now and then. Not frequently, but when I need them.
Right.
Then you control what you can control. Life is a lot easier, but you got to relinquish the control thinking that you can control the outcome because you can't. It's entrepreneurship.
That has helped me. I would say probably it probably been since New Year's. We 9 days.
We're gonna take it down. Hey, whatever new perspective you welcome it, you enjoy. I'm a changed person. Since New Year's, this is my new outlook on life. Hey, we welcoming it.
Because I was just like, you know what? Because I had been living in a constant state of anxiety for a prolonged amount of time. I'm talking months, and I was like, you know what? And I think in crazy terms, but it was like, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, right? So when I get on planes, I'm not afraid of death, but I know it's gonna happen one day. So I have a very different relationship. So I do say very morbid things at times.
Okay.
But like when I get on planes, and how people pray for safe passage, I do that. But I'm also like, God, if today's my day, hey, forgive me for everything I've done, and hey, it is what it is.
Right.
So I adopted that mindset to where it's going to be what it's going to be. Like, I'm not going to let you keep punking me.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to let you keep scaring me. Like, it's going to be what it's going to be. I'm going to show up every day. I'm going to do what I can do. I'm going to do what I'm able to do. And that's going to have to be enough. Like, it's just going to have to be enough.
I think that's it, right? That mindset, and you marry that with, like, wherever I am is exactly where I'm supposed to be. That's it. Like, not I'm going, I'm losing, it's going to be it's going to drive me crazy, this is going to fail, I'm dying. I don't think I control is my effort. And where I am right now is exactly what I need to be, where I need to be. Now, what do I need to be learning from it? How do I need to be applying it? How can I get better? All of those things, of course, you go assess them and figure out ways. But whatever I'm going through, I'm supposed to go through it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you will be dead tomorrow. And who cares about all those worries? All those worries that you thought of ain't never happened. So it's like you got to control what you can control and really be like, and that's what I've learned in my journey, like, especially when I'm taking big L's. Instead of being too down on myself, it's like, all right, bro, what could I have done better? Because I was supposed to take that L. What am I supposed to learn from it? How can I get better from it? Even when it hurts, that's a hard perspective to take, but it doesn't make you want to quit. It just makes you keep going. It's that learning mindset, that journey mindset. And that's what the end goal looks like for me, is being able to empower other entrepreneurs to show them that, like, bro, you can do it. It's just hard. Eventually, I want to cash out of my businesses. I don't want to always keep operating them. I want to run up some value, and then when I get the right value, they can cash me out. And I want to go around and help other entrepreneurs, because it's lonely. Entrepreneur is lonely, it's depressing. Instagram and Facebook and social media have it looking sexy. It's not. It's not. If you know it, I know it, anybody in it. Most entrepreneurs got a story like you talked about your mom. Like, you living in the store, you sleeping in the store, you're doing whatever you can to keep those doors open.
Right.
And you're sacrificing everything else. And it's like, those are the ones who make it. I guarantee you talk to a Mattress Mac who got all this money now. He gonna tell you a story when he's sleeping in that store. He gonna tell you a story when he's sleeping in his car.
Yeah.
Every entrepreneur, you got to go through it. At any given point, Tyler Perry gonna tell you a story when he was selling stuff, sleeping on benches. It's worth billions now. He didn't quit. Yeah, I ain't quit.
The art of never giving up.
That's gonna be the name of my book. I've already trademarked it, so don't try to steal it, nobody. I got a trademark a detector on it, but yeah, that's gonna be the name of my book. Straight up,
okay.
I got a trademark detector.
Okay,
but
the art of never giving up. When is this book coming out?
I don't know. I'm trying to get my co-author to help me out. Lavelle, please. We just talked. Yeah, please, come on. Because I have expectations for it. Like, I don't want to just drop it and if it don't get the maximum reach.
Absolutely.
I really want to, like, expose it to people. I want it to help people. That's the number one thing. That's why I want somebody to kind of help me. I have my ambitions about writing it to make sure it's digestible for people and my thoughts are well put out. But I want a big rollout, because that's not for vanity, but that's the value I want to be able to bring to people. Like, the hope. I mean, I always think about 13-year-old me. I'm the first entrepreneur in my family. Everybody come from war on drugs, crack, prison, right? That was my family. I think about, what have I seen me right now at 13? How hopeful would I be? How inspired would I be? Think about 13-year-old you. If you walked and seen a black female with 13,000 square foot and she walked you through this space, you think you could be Superwoman at that point, right? So it's like, that's what I want to bring at the end of it. That's what the art of never giving up is. And it's also to expose other entrepreneurs like yourself. And I think people need to see this. Yeah. They need to hear these transparent moments when you like, man, I feel like I'm going to quit. Like, my anxiety is killing me. It's normal for us to feel that way. I think if you don't feel that way, you probably ain't doing it right.
Something is
wrong. I feel like something wrong. Like, you're not aware of the true threats ahead of you. Like, you're gonna get scared. If it don't scare you a little bit, you probably ain't dreaming big enough. But you gotta have what you got in you. Run through the fire anyway. A lot of people just go look and stop.
They do. I know. And I know this, right? And so that's where it's like, I try to couple disappointment with gratefulness.
Right.
Like, you can't get disappointment without wanting something.
Right.
There is no disappointment unless you want something. And for every disappointment I have gained a lot. So it's like, I can't miss the fact that, yes, you're disappointed that this is happening, or the contractor sucked, or, this person conned you out of your, like, We got those
you.
stories.
Yeah, I feel you. When I tell you it's hitting here, it's hitting here. I feel you.
Like, but you got it done. But you still have it, right? When people walk through and like everyone, when they truly appreciate the building, like one lady walked through and they booked for an event, and by the time she got to the back door, she was just like, I want to pray for you right now because this is amazing. Like, just when I have that impact on people, like I have to remind myself, like, Brittany, like this is what it was for. Like for you to build a space for people to come, even the podcast studios. I was like, I want people to come and be able to share their stories with the world, you know, without having to figure out how to work a camera or how to set the lights. Like, you don't have to have the limitations I had trying to start mine. That was the goal. So it's like, when I am able to do that, I feel the validation of, this is the reason why you struggled. It's here. Okay.
Or you're struggling. Because it ain't over.
I like
put
the
an ED on that.
I love the
like
ED. I love the period behind the sentence.
No, because it's going to keep going. Dot. Put 2 more on it because it's going to be consistent. But this is the reason why I'm struggling. So when I'm thinking about this next failure that I encounter, I got to remember it's people in here literally living out their dreams because of the platform that I allow.
Correct. Absolutely. Literally living out their dreams. Like, literally. It's crazy. And I am learning how to respond. Like, I'm to the point now where, like, something will happen and, like, my handyman, the one who helps me with everything, he'll be like, okay, Brittany, don't get upset, but, you know, there's a hole in the wall, or there's this, or this broke. And before, I'll be like, oh, my God, it's something else we got to fix. And I'll be like, can you fix it? Okay. All right. Let me know if it's done. Let me know when it's done. Like, and it's like, my response to it is no longer elevated because, one, my threshold has grown. Like, what people consider problems are no longer problems for me.
Opportunities.
They're just a day in the life at this point.
Absolutely.
Like, they're no longer disappointments because I'm like, after everything we've been through, that's not going to be the thing that gets me. So yes.
You discipline your disappointments. At first, it's like, oh my God, they're killing me. They gonna put holes in the wall till I just can't have it anymore, right?
We just got this.
Exactly. What are they doing? I'm spending all my money. Now it's just like, all right, can you fix it? All right, let's move forward. And maybe another one on the other room. Let's go get that knocked out. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm getting to that point, and I think when you say discipline your disappointment, it's something you definitely grow into. It's not a light switch that you just turn off and on. It comes, in order to discipline my disappointment, I gotta have disappointment. I gotta have more disappointment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You gotta have a whole lot of it. Some that maybe would have broken you. I can't keep letting it break me. I gotta discipline this a little bit. I gotta set some boundaries.
And I got to that point where I was like, I can't keep letting this break me, because I even said out loud one day, I was like, I don't like me right now. Like, I don't like being in this place where something is stealing my joy, like something is upsetting me. Like, I don't like being in that place. So I was like, how are you going to be this person and maintain joy? How are you going to hold up this pressure, be the leader, build this thing, show up online? Like, how are you going to do it and keep your happiness, keep your joy, keep your, you know,
right.
That's what I want. I'm like, I don't have an expectation for the struggle to go away, but I don't want to miss me in the process.
You got to just remember to be yourself throughout. This is the process. It's going to forever be beating down on you. So again, you got to figure out them 2-3 things that you need for you to keep you, right? There's certain things Warren needs to be Warren. I've learned finally, like, all right, bro, I got to have that. And then I started to really build time around that. And it's like almost to the mindset, I don't care if the company breaks, I'm going to get these 2 or 3 things. And guess what? The company ain't going to break, though.
It ain't going to break.
Because I'm not asking for nothing that's going to have me off 7 days a week. I'm asking for 10, 15 minutes, 30, 45 minutes a day. I need that for Warren. Yeah. You need that for Brittany. And this is, I'm happy that you're being very transparent with this, because these are the problems every real entrepreneur faces. These are the real feelings every real entrepreneur is experiencing. And for any aspiring entrepreneurs, if your ass doing it right, this is exactly how you go feel. If you're living your dreams, this is exactly how it's going to feel.
If you're living your dream. Okay, well, I appreciate you. So y'all, this is what I call him for, because there are times where I need a perspective shift. And when you're in the, knee deep in everything that you're dealing with from day to day, there are certain people that you have to have in your life that help pull you out of it. because it's when you're in the middle of it, it's hard to see anything beyond what you're looking at. So I appreciate you for being that person for me and many other people who reach out to you. I appreciate you for taking your platform and taking your voice on different podcasts and different shows, because there are people around the world who are in this same place, giving up every day, right? Not seeing it through because they don't know that there are other people who have been in that same place and trying to press forward. So I always say you are very much a preview, right? If you just hang in there, you'll be like Warren one day, okay? Walk special. Around just smiling and happy and still under pressure, okay?
Now you seen me walk in here. I wasn't smiling or I wasn't happy when I walked in. You was like, Warren, what's wrong?
I was like, did something happen on the drive-in? Did you in traffic? Right? But and that's what we do. We shift through it. We shift through it because I got what's next, right? What's the next thing? So thank you for being a demonstration.
Thank you for doing this. Like, I think this is amazing. Like, also, when I got here, like, your energy, this space inspired me. Like, I was all frustrated from my calls and all that, and I got in here, I'm like, what? You got this room, and this is going on, and, like, how do we let people know? Like, it's inspiring, even though it is draining. It is also inspiring, so please keep living your dreams. I know you got me speaking tomorrow to your tribe, and I was so inspired by this spot. I was like, nah, you got to let me come in your spot, right? Literally, that was my deal. Like, nah, I'll speak to them. I don't care about that, but I need to come in your space and hang out with you in your space and film because of what you're doing. So, like, keep being you, and we need each other. We all we got in this entrepreneurship journey, like Black people as well, but like other entrepreneurs, you got to be able to lean on each other.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that's key. Absolutely, because you can't be secluded.
Right.
Okay, Warren, so tell the people where they can find you.
Instagram, Warren Broadnax, WarrenBroadnax. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube. Everything is Warren Broadnax. All type of positive energy throughout every social media channel. Being very authentic and transparent, hoping to inspire other entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, or just pumping out some positive energy for anybody who needs it in life.
Is your series on YouTube?
Yes, it is. My 95-day series is.
Listen, if you do nothing else, okay, if y'all are aspiring entrepreneurs trying to build something in the season, go to his YouTube page and is it 95 days?
It was supposed to be 90 days. We did 95 though.
Listen, that's where I first started following you, was when you did that series.
A lot of people did.
It's 95 days of what? It was like a minute videos?
It's a video a day. They'll vary from a minute to almost 5 minutes. We dropped a video a day.
Go watch those videos. They are ridiculously inspiring. Like, every video, I would just watch every day and be like, why is this man speaking my life? So, and I think you did that right when I opened my last space in 2019.
2019.
So I was watching that while I was building that. So yes, go listen to the series, you guys. So you guys, this has been another amazing episode in our journey to transparency journey. You guys know that we're gearing up for the event on March 11th. So I am so excited to allow you guys to sit in on these conversations as I'm getting my life together, talking to different people that are helping me prepare for the conversation I want to have with you guys on the 11th. Because the only way you're going to evolve into the next version of you is to reach a level of transparency that is real, that is authentic, that is scary, that is exposing. So thank you guys for tuning in to this next amazing episode. And I am Brittainy Noel. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.